Alright, now let's address one of the most important and often overlooked factors when it comes to choosing a new home: transportation. Sure, you might have the perfect house and a great neighborhood, but if getting around is a hassle, that can quickly turn into a deal breaker, right? Now, before you make any decisions, let's take a closer look at the transportation situation in PASINAYA homes. Spoiler alert, it has its ups and downs, and I'm here to break it all down for you. Ever thought about moving to a peaceful neighborhood but worried about being too far from everything? Or maybe you're trying to decide if owning a car is a must in this area. Well, keep watching because we're about to explore all that and more. Let's kick things off with one of the biggest challenges: public transportation. While PASINAYA Homes is in a great location and close to major roads, it's not exactly a transit hub. If you're used to living in a place with quick access to buses, jeepneys, or trains, you might find it a little challenging to get around without a car. Sure, there are jeepneys and tricycles available for local trips, but these options aren't always the most reliable or frequent. And if you need to head to larger commercial centers like Alabang or Manila, you'll have to rely on private transport or take a longer route to a bus terminal. Now, I know what you're thinking: can't I just take a Jeep? You can, but sometimes it requires a bit more waiting time and flexibility. So, if you're someone who doesn't have a vehicle or doesn't mind a bit of an adventure with local transport, this could be manageable. But for those who depend on public transport, it's something to keep in mind. Here's where the story changes a bit. If you're driving your own car, transportation becomes a whole lot easier. PASINAYA Homes is super accessible by car, and with roads like the Cavite Expressway Cavitex, you'll have no problem getting to the nearest malls, schools, or work centers. In fact, the road access is one of the major pros of the area. So, if you already have a car or are planning to buy one, you'll find that getting around is pretty hassle-free. The drive from PASINAYA Homes to places like Tagate, Manila, and Alabang is actually quite quick, thanks to these major roads. Plus, parking isn't a problem. Plenty of space to park at home or nearby. However, here's the thing: traffic. While the road access is excellent, the downside is that getting into and out of PASINAYA Homes can get a bit crowded during peak hours. Since it's a growing community, as more people move in and the area develops, you might notice a bit more congestion on the main roads, especially during rush hour. But hey, the good news is that because PASINAYA Homes is still in a more suburban area, the traffic is nothing like the crazy congestion you'd find in Metro Manila. It's more manageable, but still something to consider during peak times, especially if you're commuting for work or meetings. Now, here's some good news for the future. Naic and the surrounding areas are rapidly improving their road infrastructure. There are ongoing upgrades to major thoroughfares, which will eventually make it easier to travel in and out of the area. So, while current traffic conditions may not be perfect, improvements are on the horizon. Once the developments are complete, you can expect smoother and faster trips. It's just a matter of waiting for these updates to fully roll out, and that means PASINAYA Homes could become even more accessible in the next couple of years. For those without a vehicle, commuting to work or going on errands could take a bit more time and planning. For instance, heading to a larger commercial center or getting to Metro Manila might require at least 1 or 2 transfers, and you might need to catch a jeep or bus for longer trips. If you don't mind the extra commute time and you're okay with fewer transit options, this could be something you can work with. But for those used to quick access to public transportation, you'll have to factor in the extra time it might take to get to your destination. So, what do you think? Does the transportation situation in PASINAYA Homes sound like it might be a deal breaker for you? Or maybe you already have a car and are just looking for a peaceful place to call home. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about living in a place with limited public transportation but easy road access. And if you're loving the info and want to stay updated on all things real estate, follow for more home tour and tips on living in Cavite. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, when it comes to finding your dream home, it's all about finding that perfect balance, peaceful living, and convenience. See you soon.